Well, a small green session today. Nothing too crazy. 2 trades were taken. I will take that though. Just being patient after a crazy week of volatility. Just kind of getting those base hits and grinding out cheap trades, even in the midst of chaos. Feels solid. So overall, happy with the performance. We're gonna go and recap those right now. These were done on my live stream, which happens every morning at 8:30 a.m. Central Time on my main channel, Trades by Matt. So make sure you subscribe over there and come hang out in the mornings. It's free to watch. This was done on my 20, 50K Apex funded accounts. You can use code TBM for the best discount always available. Let's go and dive into today's recap. Yo, good morning. Welcome to the stream. Happy Thursday. News-wise, we had initial jobless claims come out this morning. We've got nothing else with news during our session. However, the rest of the day, we got Q4 flow of funds report at 11, Trump talking with NATO, and 30-year bonds at noon. But nothing else the rest of the session. Morning session, that is. Alrighty. So, jobless claims, 09 to 01, less than 100 points. We're hanging out at yesterday's value area low. We got yesterday's close and yesterday's point of control up at, what is that, 620. Currently at yesterday's IBL as well. VWAP down at 540. Overnight highs and value area high up at 700 or so. So keep an eye out on that. If we can continue to push up, when we can get through yesterday's close at 620, we're watching for 700. If we fail to get through, or maybe we just tap it and reject, watching for yesterday's value area low again. And VWAP. If we get through VWAP and we close heavy, markets are open. If we get through VWAP and close heavy, looking for the overnight lows at 400. So 400 up to 700, we got a 300 point overnight range. So we're going to be patient, going to be smart. Obviously waiting my first 15 minutes no matter what, depending on the price action and depending on the volatility. We'll look at, 9 o'clock to 9:30, depending on how volatile we are experiencing. Bouncing off VWAP, pushing right up into yesterday's value area low again. We got a block up there at 70, worth 80 contracts. All right, chat, here's a question for you. Do you feel like this week has been better for your trading than last week? Do you think it's felt easier? I think are kind of the two big questions. Do you think it's felt easier than last week? Do you think it's felt harder than last week? Do you feel like you're getting a grip on it a little bit better? Go ahead and bring up the fun paint, right? I was telling a guy recently, 2 days ago, and I talk about this example often, right? But like you have like a classic bell curve, right? And this is what, 95% usually? And I talk about this example pretty often, but if this is the norm, right? Statistically norm, right? What we're experiencing right now, if you want to call this volatility, this can be called several different things, honestly. This example works for a lot of different things. But if you want to call it the norm, right? We're like in this little spot of craziness until it's been established for several weeks, right? Several weeks it starts becoming the norm. But for right now, you can honestly say like we're in that like upper 2.5%, if you will. And it's really challenging for me and for a lot of people to trade. And I think this just like puts a little bit of an example on it. It's usually really hard to trade when there's a very big jump in volatility. Flip side, it's usually pretty hard to trade when there is no volatility on this side, right? If volatility completely dies, people usually have a really hard time trading it, right? Because it is not normal. And a lot of people are trying to fit their normal strategies and stuff like that into, and like the normal way of trading, maybe a little less patient, things like that, into a spot where it is quite literally not normal. And I think it's a good like little visual of just like, where are we at? Right now the VIX is at 24 and it was at like 29 or 30 the end of last week. So we're kind of coming back into it. But I think the idea of what I'm trying to establish here is that like a lot of times we are fitting our strategy to be able to be in that normal base. And I talk about how often people are like, why don't you look for like big long trades? And I'm like, well, usually I'm looking for something that fits the norm, which the 10-point target that for me is usually fitting that from a volatility perspective. And then you throw in a week or two like we've had, and it's like everything feels crazy. And then people will try and all of a sudden start fitting their strategy for that 2.5%. And volatility goes back to normal and you get just as wrecked. So for me to be able to figure this out, it just requires a lot of patience. Alrighty. So there you go. I think that's my little 2 cents on it. Slapping through VWAP pretty nicely here. Block at 300. Yeah, a little block there. We got buyers trying to step up here. What I'm trying to figure out is, does it make more sense to grab 90 or does it make more sense to grab 400 really? There's 90. Okay. That's good. And there's 400. We got a lot of buyers coming through. And if we can pop, 418, then it's like watching for 58. All right, popped 20. Or hit 20, I should say. Nice little rollover. Candle's closing right now. We got a new candle opening up. That was a 20 to 80 rotation, by the way. There we go. And now watching for 57. Green line algo. God. Damn near another 50-point ripper. Candle's about to close out. Got a lot of buyers. I'm curious to see how we move at 500 in VWAP. Probably do want to be able to give it a little closer. Probably something like that. But I can definitely see this getting missed by 2 points if I don't have it like that. I mean, this is a hilarious phrase. U.S. Treasury Secretary Bessent. Maybe inflation is getting under control. Maybe. Why even release that? Maybe. I don't know. Maybe. All right, I would have gotten filled at 99.75. I am in short. And I'm out. It's a quick 10-pointer off of VWAP. Happy with that one. Just being patient. Waiting for a psych level VWAP play after a nice rally. On to the next. Still down 0.6% on the session. Got volume flipping up here at 500s. A strong push if we can close very strongly through VWAP. I think that means good on the uppies into, yesterday's value area low, if not yesterday's point of control. 570s to 620s, I would say, look pretty solid. If we can close strong through VWAP here, which it's trying to do. And then maybe it really is a true V-bottom. I just don't trust V-bottoms right now with how slappy the market's been. So that's why I was willing to short at 500 after a nice move, but we'll see. It's lit. All right. Thursday, March 13th. Why did the elephant quit his job? He was working for peanuts. Okay, a little bit of buyers. Are we going to actually get through this, though? Are we going to get through 50 here? Yeah, I stopped out for 130 bucks, 6 points. Basically topped it. Oh, perfect. Then it actually sends it. That's good. I'd much rather it send it than not. I'm gonna call it here for a morning. It's like really slowing down. I think what I'm waiting for is, are we gonna just hold balance here? Are we just gonna rotate back up to value area high? Very possible. Very, very possible. And if we rotate off of value area high again, I think it's gonna be clean shorts into VWAP and value area low. If not, I think we really need to crack 420. Maybe we reject 500, but it's a little bit of a diddle in the middle on the current range, so I'm not super interested in that, and that's where we're headed, which is why I'm gonna call it.